Hi, I'm Christian Goldsmith, Portfolio Specialist for Morgan Stanley's Global Balanced Risk Control team. I'd like to provide a brief update on our latest views as we've recently become more positive on risk assets. In late 2018, our defensive positioning helped protect our portfolios from falling equity markets. A common question from clients as we entered 2019 was, what would make you more positive on equities? We highlighted a number of requirements, including a supportive Fed, meaningful fiscal stimulus from the likes of China, the US and Europe, supporting a global no recession scenario, reduced trade tensions, and resolution one way or another of Trump-related issues. So where do we stand now? Well, firstly, we expect the Fed to remain on pause in the coming months, with any future hike being both data and market dependent. Investors have adjusted their expectations. In Q4 2018, market pricing moved from 2 to 0 hikes for 2019. We believe that healthy US growth may allow the Fed to hike once, but that's likely to come in the second half of the year. Either way, it looks like we have a supportive Fed. An encouraging development has been evidence of fiscal stimulus from China. Targeted measures include the issuance of local government special bonds to support projects such as infrastructure investment, which could equal up to 1.5% of GDP. We may also see fiscal stimulus elsewhere. For example, the need for infrastructure spending is one of the few policy areas on which the US Republicans and Democrats agree, so presents a rare opportunity for the two parties to work constructively on a bipartisan basis. These factors give us cause for optimism, but what about the ongoing trade tensions? Recent signs of progress in talks between US and Chinese officials have been encouraging and well received by markets, but we're acutely aware that no deal has yet been agreed, so we take nothing for granted. Furthermore, even if the US and China do agree a deal, President Trump may turn his attention elsewhere, for example, towards the European auto industry. We expect trade negotiations to influence the pace of fiscal stimulus in China. The worse the outcome of trade talks, the larger the likely stimulus. Ultimately, we expect policymakers to do enough to support Chinese growth, benefiting global growth. Some countries will benefit more than others. 45% of China's imports come from just 7 countries, so a pickup in Chinese growth will be particularly good for the likes of South Korea, Japan, Germany, Australia, and the US itself. The current environment presents a number of binary events. For instance, will the US-China trade negotiations succeed? Will the political pressure on President Trump increase or ease? For example, as the Mueller investigation reaches its conclusion, and how will this affect his administration's policy making? And will the UK exit the European Union on a relatively positive footing, or with no deal? These factors present challenges to asset allocators, so although we're more positive on the environment for risk assets, we maintain a note of caution. What does this mean in practice? Using our flagship MSIMVF GBAR fund for illustration, in January, we raised our target equity weight from 22 to 44%, well below our historical maximum of almost 80%, but still a significant increase. In portfolios that permit them, we've also used options for part of our equity exposure to provide a degree of downside protection from some of these more binary events.